BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer.
To me.
So, welcome everyone to 50 minutes of experience. Today, I'm with Nika Ilić from Croatia, Zagreb. Hi. And welcome, Nika.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a really pleasure for me to have you. It's a moment to chill together and to chat about our experience and our stories through photography and not only. So what you say about yourself, just first introduce us to yourself and then we go on and probably more deep.
Okay, I'm Nika Ilić. I'm from Zagreb, Croatia. Like you know, I'm 23 years old. I've been practicing photography. Let's say I haven't actually studied it for the last year and a half, maybe two. And right now I'm still enrolled at the University of Veterinary Medicine. But I don't know if I'm going to finish it, or I'm trying, maybe next year I'll try to get into the Academy of Dramatic Arts and study cinematography. But that's all still in the future, so I have a lot of decisions to make.
So please don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't go to study cinematography because your picture in this case are so amazing, and I cannot believe that you study cinematography and then you lose all of that because of a structure is not anymore upgraded.
That's what I'm most struggling with. Yeah, thank you. That's my opinion as well.
I mean, we are in a world of art, and probably most of art we have, and we can improve in our life. I think most of the time from our just experience we do it, and from what we try, and yes. Most of the time just focusing on the studies put us in some structure it's difficult to overcome. And yeah, in this case you study something else, and that can inspire you also to connect with the tool of art in a totally different way.
Yes, I know.
Especially in this case, I see your picture are so really good, and I could not believe that you are 23 years old. That's that's really cool, and I like for sure the editing process, but I like also the tension there is in the picture. Probably, yeah. Also the expression of people you portray are so intensive, and I like that you know, the feeling of challenge there is in this portrait, and I would love to know more about that. Why is like that? You're a challenging person for sure. I can see in your face. So tell me more.
Yes, I think I'm just due to me discovering this passion rather lately in life, let's say, even though I'm only 23 years old, I always tell that my biggest inspiration comes from movies, because I think it does. I've always been a big movie fan and a movie enthusiast. So when I started doing photography, I was really as passionate about it, but also I have this kind of a perfectionist way of trying to construct a photo. Everything needs to be just assembled like it is in my mind. I need to put it in the photo, and I always try to convey some emotion, because to me, I don't really like when I see, especially when I see portraits which should deal with some kind of emotion, to me at least, that are only, you know, blank and don't have any intensity, as you say, in them. So I always try to bring as much out of the model as I can, and also make it as comfortable. So that's why I mostly work with my friends, and because they trust me and I trust them. And yeah, I don't know really what else to say. Everything is rather more practical. I don't ever really plan the photo shoot. I just get a model, we go on some location, I explore it, and I take the first impression of it and construct a a frame that comes naturally to me.
So you was wondering about this podcast, if it was a structure or not. I'm just like you. I do it in the same way in my shooting. I do it in the same way in the podcast. I really like to
Yeah, I like that. I
just
like that.
follow the flow, and if the flow is there, good. If the flow doesn't create anything, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
In any case, I mean, it's a connection with another human, and
Yes.
sometimes need more time, sometimes not. And I'm really curious about. So then you are really passionate about cinema, and so tell me just some movies really touched you in this case.
Some movies that touched me, that like were inspiration to me through life.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many now. I cannot think of one, but let's say
The first come to
I
your
think
mind.
I think Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro. I don't know if you maybe seen that film.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time when, as a kid, I really understood. I mean, I don't want to say understood, but I saw how art can be portrayed. If you're familiar with the film, it deals with this really war-torn country and the Spanish Civil War and blah blah blah. But it's also really Guillermo del Toro blended it in this beautiful fairy tale way. And that was the first time I truly found some kind of a fascination towards movies, that they can portray something so real and so emotional, such as experience of war, but also kind of like categorize it under a fairy tale and make like two different flows in one movie. So I think I subconsciously sometimes try to do that as well, even though I have like only, I'm not praising my photography, but when I do a photo shoot, I always try to convey some kind of a mystic or eerie, just something that it doesn't always look as right as it should, because I always have this like fairy tale in my mind that I need to portray.
And
So I think, yeah, Pan's Labyrinth, I think really kind of struck me as a child.
yeah, for sure you have your influence in your structure, in your unconscious part that you want to recreate every time. And
Yeah.
but something I really ask to myself is what is behind your selection, because what I see is for sure the selection you do it and what you want to show of yourself. But I would love much more to go deeper inside of what is your work and what is hide in your archive. And then I ask to you, okay, what is hide in your archive, Nika?
What is inside my archive?
Yeah.
That's a very deep question. Wait, let me think for a second.
Yeah, I know.
Can you just explain it a bit more? What exactly do you mean by that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in this case, I had to call this podcast not 50 minutes of experience, but question Google don't give to you. But
Okay.
I mean, I ask to myself always stuff a bit more deep, and this is the reason because I'm structured as curator and editor, and I want to discover more inside of the archives of other people, and also because as I'm a photographer, I'm always researching for more and more. I started to shoot portray when I was 17, and then slowly I went off from this world because I wanted to discover more about myself and more about what in general the world gives to us. And many people regret to themselves, they just put themselves in some stylish or some style of photography, but for me photography is photography and there's no style.
I agree actually.
We shoot in the street. If we shoot in the street and we shoot fashion in the street, what is street fashion photography? And if we put on the table some flowers, what we do it, we do it fashion, street, still life photography. It's everything is a mix. I think today we cannot anymore talk about style, but in a way or another, we refer to ourselves sometimes, closing ourselves in this structure of style just to present us to the world, and in this case also make some money from. And what I was asking you is I'm curious to know what is inside of your archive, because what I think is missed inside of this storytelling on your Instagram is some moment of no connection with other people, but connection with you. And as I can understand from what you said until now, just this short talk we had until now, that there is much more than a portray of someone else, but there is much more a portrayal of yourself. And so then
Yeah.
I ask to myself, how do you self-portray yourself without touching the images of your body?
Well, I always, I don't know, I will try to give you as best answer as I can. This is a really good question that I'm not prepared for, I think. But I always, you know, when I do photo shoots, I always think of a camera as my eye, and everything that's on the opposite side of the camera, of the lens, I just see as, let's say, a mirror that's trying to convey what I'm feeling at the moment. So even though I don't do, like you said, self-portraits of my body, I'm still trying to show my mind and my soul, even if that sounds maybe a bit cringe. But I think if a photographer doesn't do that, if he doesn't really put himself into the picture, not like in literal sense, but metaphorically, then I don't believe you're truly expressing your art. You need to kind of be the picture that you're taking, and that's why I was never really, I have nothing against it. I actually really love street photography, like you said, although let's not try to categorize it. But I mostly like the photo shoots that I do, because in that way I can be the art director and I can be in control of the frame, when rather than let's just take let's just capture a moment that I had nothing to do with. Like I said, I had nothing against that. I think that's amazing style of photography. Like you said, you know, let's not talk about style, but some other photographers have different styles for themselves, at least. But my style has always been quite connected with directing. So when I'm photographing, I always try to direct.
So we can say, in a way, it's not about structure, but it's about just the control of images, the results you want from the images. I mean, in a way or another, the structure is there. Also, if you do it street photography, you have a structure. In many cases, I can tell you, as a reading portfolio of people, I can see if people show themselves, in which way they show themselves inside of the photography they do. It doesn't matter if they construct or not the images. I mean, it's clearly the sign of someone else is there, and I think this is the real sign of each person doing the photography. I mean, in opposite of what a lot of different creators of photography can say in the world, that photography is not like paint, there is not a style you can recognize. I think this is not true at all, because you can totally recognize in a big series of photography which is the hand shooted, and this is made from a different kind of being human in this case. I mean,
Yes.
you step out and you overcome your problems, or your what make yourself you in a period or another. It's totally different than your style of photography really overcomes some kind of structure. And
Yeah.
for example, in my photography, actually I can see it's totally different from 7 years ago, for example. And it's difficult to recognize, but in a way or another, there is always this really close highs. So that is the characteristic of my picture in this case. And what I wanted to say relate to you in this case is what I said before, that I missed that details inside of your picture. Yeah, for sure I missed, because I'm just relating to your Instagram. But for sure, if I would be, for example, your editor in a publishing edition of a book, I will for sure put some details of your life, because I think these are really important. Sometimes we can use them as a comma or as a point inside of our storytelling, but they
Yeah, of
have
course.
a lot of value, because they describe the artist who is behind the camera in a way. And I was asking to myself if you ever thought about to mix these elements inside of your work. I mean, imagine tomorrow you go to shoot with someone, okay, and I don't know how is the process of your interaction with that person, and if you during the shoot, for example, will be attracted from a stone in the grass, for example. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer Project.